A major focus of the current administration is revitalizing American manufacturing. Over the last 2 years, billions of dollars have been set aside to support the industry, and new technologies have the potential to revolutionize the way things are made. Pravina Raghavan is the director of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership at NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Pravina, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
So just start by telling us, what is the Manufacturing Extension Partnership?
It's a great question. So we have 1,400 experts across the United States. We have a center in every state, 51 and Puerto Rico. And what we do is help manufacturers actually learn new technologies, but also grow, find efficiencies, and find domestic suppliers here in the United States. Our entire mission is to strengthen and empower manufacturers, and we've helped over millions of manufacturers every day in the last 30 years of this program.
Well, let's talk about some of those new technologies that you're supporting. 3D printing is really an exciting area of manufacturing, and the big buzz is around printing body organs. So where are we on that? What does the future hold?
I think the future is very bright. And for people who don't know what 3D printing is, it's just printing an object outside of a specialized printer that uses materials, and you have a 3D object. So something, instead of using your paper printer, which only gives you a 2D object, you get a 3D object. And what's interesting about printing organs is you can make valve replacements, put in new body parts. It's still in its infancy. It's not there yet. We need to get through testing and standards, and at NIST, that's what we're doing right now. We're also working with the FDA, the efficacy, to ensure that it happens. And the reality is we're doing active research right now. It's an active research phase. They are printing out. We went and actually did a test case on tissue revitalization, and we're able to do it through a 3D printer, which means think about the cost of surgeries going down, but also really how we can help Americans, get vital body parts quicker. If you're on the organ donor list, you know that it takes time. And so this is actually to help get more Americans healthy quickly.
And an area that you say can have a really big impact is around predictive maintenance. Explain how that works.
Sure. So it's called prognostic health management. We like fancy words in manufacturing, but if you want to think about it, it's taking the temperature and doing an annual physical of your manufacturing facility. Why this is important is about sensors. Actually having sensors that can actually understand what's going on, looking at the data, and understanding how their production line is going, and make real-time connections so that manufacturers can actually save money, but also bring down the cost of their products and get more efficient in their line. And it's just by putting a sensor. As we develop better sensors, you have, if you think about it, you walk with a sensor in your phone today, you're able to actually monitor your body function. So we can do that for a production line. And when you can do that, you can actually correct problems and also help with what we would call the workforce problem, because you might not have that many people to check those machines, but now the sensors are doing it for it, and the data actually tells you what's going on so that you can make corrections in real time and not have recalls and other things that affect the public.
And I was going to ask, since those sensors are becoming cheaper and more widely available, and predictive maintenance is implemented more widely, what economic impact does that ultimately have?
I think the economic impact is that we can help grow manufacturers. 98% of manufacturers are small. That's what we that's our bailiwick. And just so you know, what small means is people with less than 500 employees. And the ability to use these sensors to do predictive maintenance and to make sure the line is in progress and doing what it's supposed to do actually allows for less bodies, which is right now we have an entire workforce shortage. Every industry does, including manufacturing. But now how do we make sure that we're getting the maintenance done quickly is based on these sensors. And so the economic impact is that we can get goods quicker, faster out. And if they're here in the domestic supply chain, they can actually get to the public quicker. Last year alone, we helped do $18.8 billion of sales for manufacturers. So these types of technology modifications ensure that manufacturers are getting what they need at the right time, and actually real-time inventory getting out to the public.
And you've written about supply chain visibility in the manufacturing process. So tell us why that's important, how that's achieved.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Supply chain was never thought about until five years ago. If you asked the word supply chain, people didn't know what it is. But the visibility of understanding where your goods come from and actually how it gets from point A to B. If you I just recently bought a home. I can't get a dishwasher. But what does that mean, right? Why can't we figure out how to get a dishwasher to me in Maryland? And the reason is because we don't actually know where all the goods are from the supply chain and who is actually in that chain to put the goods together and get it to me. Using smart manufacturing allows us to be able to do that quickly. And so if there are gaps or if a piece of part isn't there, we can actually go find another supplier to push that into the network, into the actual final product. Because most people don't realize is that you may buy your thing from whatever company you buy your dishwasher or refrigerator or whatever, but they're not actually manufacturing it. They get their pieces from component pieces, and not being able to tell and the visibility of where it's going with sensors and also smart manufacturing, you can actually tell what's going on from your down supplier, from the person who's putting the door handle on the dishwasher, all the way to the person who's actually putting it together. And that kind of data is very empowering because it allows us to figure out where those gaps and eliminate these long wait times that we've been seeing along with the supply chain.
And finally, Pravina, looking at the long term, what are the advances that you're most excited about?
Well, I do want to say 3D printing an organ tissue donor is amazing. I mean, to be able to affect someone's health and actually help them do, to live a long life. And really the future of manufacturing is just about taking things that we see every day and making it more efficient and getting goods to people, whether it's cheese, whether it's planes, using smart manufacturing and also sensors, is the ability to actually get people what they want when they need it, but doing it here in the United States and supporting small manufacturers in that supply chain is very critical for us because I think we all saw it and felt it during COVID. If you couldn't get toilet paper, that was a bad thing. But now we will be able to tell you why we can't get it and make sure you do have it on the shelves on time.
All right, Pravina, nice to talk to you. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future Government Matters interviews.